This video will contain minor spoilers for the books and some bigger spoilers for the games, especially The Witcher 3. The law of surprise acts as the main source for new Witchers. The children who are taken to be turned into Witchers often come to terms with their destiny. Some, however, have trouble accepting their fate. Some feel that fate has mocked them in a cruel way. This is how Lambert feels about his youth. He never grew up in the happiest of homes. His father was an alcoholic and regularly beat both Lambert and his mother. They prayed every night for his death. They wanted him out of their lives. One day, his father lost his way on the walk back home from the tavern. He ended up in a knacker's nest. However, to his luck and Lambert's bad luck, a Witcher saved him. As often happens in these situations, the Witcher asked the man to give the first thing he sees once he gets home. What he saw was poor little Lambert. The Witcher took him to Kaer Morhen. Lambert was angry with destiny, that his life choices and opportunities had been taken away in exchange for the life of the man he hated most. While he didn't like that he was forced to become a Witcher, he still made a friend at Kaer Morhen. Voltaire, a young boy with a scar on his chin. They went through the trials together. However, as most people don't survive, Voltaire didn't survive. He died at the hands of Old Speartip, a big cyclops in the caves. Lambert completed his trials and survived. He became a Witcher. However, he had lost his friend. Even though Lambert realized that him becoming a Witcher wasn't the worst possible fate he could have, he was still pissed off at destiny for taking away his choice. Lambert was among the last few groups of Witchers that were trained at Kaer Morhen. This also makes him one of the youngest Witchers around. Over the years, Lambert became friends with some other Witchers that stayed the winters at Kaer Morhen. These include Geralt, Eskel, Vesemir and Cohen. They drank together and told each other stories about their contracts and the monsters they had hunted. Lambert had become bitter over the years as a way of dealing with his anger at destiny. He tried to mock people as often as he could, in as many ways as he could. These include impersonating Vesemir, referring to Triss as Marigold, and mocking Geralt for his fame whenever he could, out of jealousy. Most people around him take it as him just being rude and mean. In truth, it seems like that's the way he shows people he likes them, by mocking them. Once Ciri was taken to Kaer Morhen by Geralt, Lambert was very focused on training her. He might have seemed harsh, however he most likely just wanted her to survive and be able to fight, so he wouldn't lose another person somewhat near to him. In the courtyard, a recess in the wall sheltered from the wind, Ciri was training under Lambert's instructions, deftly balancing on a beam hanging on chains. She was attacking with her sword, a leather sack bound with straps to make it resemble a human torso. Triss stopped to watch. "Wrong!" yelled Lambert. "You're getting too close. Don't act blindly at it. I told you, the very tip of the sword at the carotid artery." "Where does a human have its carotid artery? On top of its head? What's happening? Concentrate, princess." This wasn't the only time we can see Lambert training someone who was to become a Witcher. In The Witcher 1, he's doing the same thing with Leo. And he even told Leo that one day he might be able to beat Lambert. This gave Leo hope, as Leo wasn't mutated yet. Once Triss showed up, it was clear that she didn't like Lambert, and wanted him to shut up every time he spoke. She saw his words and actions as if he hated her. However, it most likely had to do with what happened in the past. There used to be a time when sorcerers and sorceresses took children away from their homes and parents if they were found to be a source or magically gifted. Lambert and the Witchers were still suspicious about Triss and if she wanted to take Ciri away from them. "Devil take it," said Lambert after a long silence. "I'm listening to you, half convinced that someone here has already lost their marbles and will at any moment now present a threat to the rest of us. Destiny, sources, spells, hocus pocus. Aren't you exaggerating, Marigold? Is this the first child to be brought to the keep? Geralt didn't find Destiny. He found another homeless, orphaned child. We'll teach the girl the sword and let her go out into the world like the others. True, I admit we've never trained a girl in Kaer Morhen before. We've had some problems with Ciri. We made mistakes. And it's a good thing that you've pointed them out to us. But don't let us exaggerate. She is not so remarkable as to make us fall on our knees and raise our eyes to the heavens. Is there a lack of female warriors roaming the world? I assure you, Marigold, Ciri will leave here skillfully and healthy, strong and able to face life. And I warrant, without catatonia and any other epilepsy, unless you delude her into believing she has some such disease. Vesemir, Triss turned in a chair. Tell him to keep quiet. He's getting in the way. You think you know it all, said Lambert calmly. But you don't. Not yet. We don't hear much about what Lambert is doing in the books after Blood of Elves. There are some flashbacks which point back at the time at Kaer Morhen when he was with Ciri training. However, the rest of the books he's kind of absent. It is, however, hinted where he goes, as he says in Blood of Elves. So what, said Lambert. They've been hitting, killing and striking each other constantly for hundreds of years. It's nothing to worry about. I've already decided. I'm going to the far south, to Sudden, Mahakam and Angren. It's well known that monsters are bound where armies have passed. The most money is made in places like that. Lambert seems to went straight towards Nilfgaard to hunt and kill monsters around the middle to eastern part of the Yaruga. This had me thinking that I actually could have put Lambert in Thronebreaker instead of Ivo of Belhaven. Ivo only appears for a short time, where he talks to Meave about Garnicora, and that he had a contract on the beast's head from the Nilfgaardians. He was a calm witcher. However, it would seem somewhat more enjoyable to have Lambert try and explain a queen with an army in tow about a beast he is hunting, imagining him trying to mock Meave or trying his best not to, as to prevent getting executed. Lambert survived the books. Some years after the Battle of Brenna, he and Eskel found Geralt after he had escaped the Wild Hunt. Around this time, Lambert was training Leo to become a Witcher. However, in the end, Leo wasn't skilled enough, and he hadn't had his mutations yet, resulting in his death because he wasn't fast enough to deflect a crossbow bolt. Lambert was upset about his death, and wanted to abandon the fortress as it had gained new holes in the walls and wasn't safe anymore. Once everyone decided where to go to search for the Salamandra, Lambert went to Cadwyn. So basically he just stayed in the same kingdom where he was already at the time. From here, he kind of disappears for the rest of the first game and the second game, except for one small detail. That he at some point during Witcher 1 has most likely slept with Triss. In The Witcher 3, Lambert talks about him once having jumped out of a lover's window to not hurt his friend's feelings. In The Witcher 1, steps can be found leading towards the window in Triss, her room. As well as in The Witcher 3, the Triss Gwent card can be won from Lambert or found next to his bed after the story is ended. In The Witcher 1, cards were used to indicate the more intimate scenes. This by now seems to have been basically confirmed that Lambert and Triss slept together. This kind of seems weird, seeing how much they hated each other in Blood of Elves. Lambert set out on the path once again. He travelled all around the north, and eventually arrived in Elander, Temeria. He was hired to kill the ogre of Elander. However, he wasn't alone, as Aiden, a witcher from the School of the Cat, was also hired to take out this beast. Eventually, however, the ogre had killed their employer and they teamed up, killing the beast and splitting the reward. They traveled together for some time and took down several monsters together. Lambert considered Aiden the best man he's ever met in his life. At some point, they split paths, as witchers often travel alone. Aiden took on a contract to lift the curse of a duke's daughter. However, once he arrived, something happened and he was killed by Vienne, who had shot him with an arrow. What happened that resulted in him dying is up for debate, as we can hear two sides of the story, one from the killers and one from Lambert. Lambert wasn't there at the time, and the killers might be trying to save their own hides by talking about a different story and something that's not really true. You can't truly be sure if Aiden didn't provoke them, or if the leader of the gang, yet Carradine, also a witcher from School of the Cat, tells the truth. No matter what is true or not, Lambert goes on to find some other gang members, while Geralt goes and tracks one down in Skellige. Lambert wants to kill Jet Carradine out of revenge, and only Geralt can talk him out of it if he so desires. After the hunt for the gang members, Lambert returns to Kaer Morhen, where he partook in the battle against the Wild Hunt. Depending on Geralt's choices, here Lambert could fall in love or die. If Kira is at the Battle of Kaer Morhen, Lambert will always survive, and he will leave with her at the end. If there is no Kira, then Geralt has to get to Lambert in time and save him. If he fails to do so, Lambert dies, and his body will be burned next to that of Vesemir. If Geralt arrives in time, Lambert will just continue his life as the regular old, bitter Lambert. In the happy ending for him, where he leaves with Kira, he helps her to find a cure for the Catriona plague. Lambert has more depth to him than just being an asshole. There is a reason behind his behavior. His life has never been the happiest, and this is how he copes with it. So, what do you think about Lambert? Till the next video. Bye.
Are you and Lambert?
Did you think yourself the only witcher a sorceress could possibly take an interest in?
You know, you two are actually a great match.
You think so? Thank you.